Hey football fans, Drew Brees here. Kroger Play and Owner's Box have teamed up for the next generation of daily fantasy sports. First-time players can get $25 in free entries plus 250 fuel points. And you can score all season long with 2 times the fuel points for every dollar spent to use at Kroger Fuel Centers. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Void where prohibited. Eligibility restrictions apply. 18 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Offer is valid between 8/6/25 and 1/5/26. Terms apply. See full terms and conditions at ownersbox.com/footballfuelpointstc.
That means it's 1:07 on a Saturday afternoon, and that time it means that it's Inside Georgia Real Estate with my good friend and dear, dear sister, Deborah Morton.
We're in the twilight zone.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there's a bunch of stuff going on here at the station. Obviously, you can hear it.
We're live.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Morton, myself, 448-720-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Those are the numbers for you to call in and ask Deborah all of your real estate questions.
That's
Welcome,
what's
my
happening.
sister.
Hello, everybody. That's what's happening, Shelley. AI is already taken over. It's the red pill or blue pill moment.
It's everything's going wrong here. I want to ask you this. I've been wanting to ask you this all week, Deborah. I've been talking about on my show the government shutdown, which we're about 10 days in, 11 days in.
Trust me. We're talking about the government shutdown, too, in real estate.
Well,
yes.
How does it impact real estate?
So what happens is people might not be aware of it, but many of our mortgage products like FHA loans, USDA loans, there's a lot of pieces that have federal parts involved in the transaction of the process of getting to closing. So what this would look like is if you have a borrower who is using an FHA loan, which there's many of those.
Now, what is an FHA loan?
It is a government-backed loan. It is.
So you get it from the government or from the bank?
From a bank.
Okay.
But it is backed by the government.
Gotcha.
So Freddie and Fannie, the mortgage institutions, they insure mortgages, and so it's backed by the government. So it hasn't been super impactful yet, but it could be. If this goes on longer, we are going to start seeing slowdowns with the processing of mortgages and delays to closing. What's interesting that I had happen this week was we have a client who had some tax issues that needed to be cleared up prior to getting the clear to close. That's like the official stamp, you're good to go. And because the IRS has federal employees and everybody is short-staffed, it's hard to get the information we need. All they needed was a letter that says, yes, all of their past debts were paid. That's it. That's all we needed. And we're waiting on the letter, and we can't close the deal until that's back. So because the government is in every part of our lives, the mortgage process is the biggest place. Now, locally, showing houses, marketing houses, all of that, the shutdown has nothing. But financing houses, yes, there's definitely been an impact.
448-720-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Okay, I get that part, right?
Yes.
And I get the government's involvement with it. But are there actual people with the shutdown that they work in these departments? They're not at work. So if I had put in a mortgage applicant or my mortgage broker put in an application for me for an FHA loan, is it sitting someplace just waiting to be seen?
Yeah, furloughed.
That's literally what's happening.
Why should furloughed employees work?
Right.
I mean, it's not fair to ask them to work for free.
Right.
Yet on the other hand, it's crippling to the nation.
Right.
So like that gets into like pretty much what you've been talking about all week long on your show. But yeah, it matters. We need things stamped off, signed off. Like that process, there's just a lot of hands. That process of buying a home, it's the mortgage piece of it. If everybody were cash buyers,
right,
everything about cash. If you have cash to buy a house, it's easy. There's very little. I mean, we use an attorney to clear title, but you have the money, you transfer the money to the attorney will hold it when the title is clear. It's a very simple process. You record the deed at the courthouse, transfer the money, it's done. It's the mortgage part of this whole process that is more complex and it's more expensive for people.
more expensive to buy cash? To pay cash?
No.
The mortgage process is more expensive.
The mortgage process is expensive,
Right.
and it's stressful. There's a lot of hands in it. There's a lot of moving parts. And there are also privacy laws, so your agent can't necessarily. I am not privy to and I don't want to be.
Right.
I really don't want to be. But there are moments where I'm trying to help a client who doesn't understand all the moving parts that are happening. They don't understand the delays. They don't even understand the questions they're being asked. Why do I need to provide my mom's bank statements?
Right.
Well, your mom is giving you a gift of money, so they have to verify where the money comes from. So there's so many pieces, but because of privacy laws, I can only help to a degree.
Gotcha. So that being said, we have a government shutdown.
Yes.
There's optimism. There's confidence issues in the economy even before the shutdown. Mm-hmm. We're looking at mortgage rates just kind of came down, right? And people
about
got
6.3 this week. Expectations are for 6% coming into the new year.
But it was a while before that happened, so people got excited. Now all of this. What does it look like in the real estate industry, not from the buyer or seller standpoint, but from the industry standpoint right now?
So the industry professionals, I'm sorry, if you've been in it a while, this is still nothing like it was in 2008. I mean, it's not as bad as it ever was. Is it hard? What is hard for me, I can't speak for everybody. What's hard for me is the frustration my clients are feeling right now because they are skeptical about the process. They are.
When you say skeptical about the process, can you kind of
they're disheartened.
Gotcha.
It's not as fun as you would hope it would be. You know, like Kevin gets to sell cars.
Right.
People walk on a lot, they see a shiny car, it's exciting. And, you figure it out. That's how buying a home should be exciting. Selling a home should be exciting if your next step is something fun and interesting. And it's not really that much fun right now.
Right.
People are feeling that, but it's really affordability that is the not fun part, because what I can afford to buy is not what I'd like.
Right.
But that's really not any different today than it's ever been, because we all have champagne taste and beer budgets. That's part of what I do.
But isn't it a little different because of the mortgage situation and the overall economic situation? Is that different, or is it the same as it always has been?
So 6% mortgage rate is normal. Over the 40-year average, it is 6%. So we're spot on with mortgage rates. So that's not it. But what is different is the price of houses, the average cost of a house, and then the other factors. Everyone has college debt. Everyone is carrying more debt than we've seen in years past. And just the cost of bread and milk, like your regular living expenses are higher, and people are carrying more debt and they can't afford as much. And because of the pandemic, housing prices went up so fast. It's the combination of all that. So we always like to focus on mortgage rates as being, if they drop, everything will get better.
Right.
It's more complex than that. It is not just mortgage rates. It's all the things. But it never changes the fact that people need good homes to live in, because it's more than the money. The money is where our conversations focus, but people need, a place for their kids to play and a place to have their holidays and spend their birthdays and cook their meals and share life.
404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. This show is called Inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Morton. Deborah Morton is your expert, right? So she knows everything about Georgia real estate. So you call her with all of your real estate needs.
And we can talk about the process is where my focus is right now, because all the things that we're talking about that are hard for people, there is a way to work your way through it. The process of selling and buying feels complex, but what we do is break it down into manageable chunks so we can help you achieve your dreams.
When you say we,
my team, and I,
your team is
right. The Agency Atlanta. Thank you, Shelley. Teed that up for me. Yeah, y'all. If you need help with the process of selling and buying houses, investing in homes, call us at the Agency Atlanta. That is what I do. I like getting into these in-depth conversations with Shelley and our listeners about the process of real estate and breaking down and answering questions for people. But my main job is to help people buy and sell homes.
Right.
So call me if you need that.
So let me ask you a question. Going back to what we were talking about, the government shutdown and all that stuff, the optimism or lack thereof, the economy. Where are we if I'm sitting at my house right now listening and I've got the home, my kids are going off to college, they're getting into their own lives, and I'm looking at making a change, downsizing or something. Is now the right time, or should I wait? Like, when is the perfect time, or is there a perfect time when you're talking about the process?
The process is now. Sooner is better than later, because I believe an educated consumer makes better decisions. You will move forward more confidently when the time is right if you understand all the moving parts and what you need to do to prepare for it. So, in my opinion, it's fine to call an agent a year, 2 years ahead of time, knowing that you're going to be approaching this, because the hardest thing for people is when they decide, I'm ready to move, and I walk in their home and we have 6 months of work to do.
Right.
So like that's not fun for them, and that's where their stress comes from.
404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. When you talk about 6 months of work to do, give me an example of what that work looks like so people listening can say, oh, this is what I need to start working on if this is something I want to do. What's an example of something that you would walk in and say, oh, wait, you said you were ready to sell your home. We've still got to do X, Y, Z.
So this time of year, we can bring it to Ashley Fresca's show. If you want to sell in the spring, let's work on your yard right now so we can have a beautiful green lawn in the spring of next year. That's one small example of the things that I can help advise on.
And that's something that most people would not necessarily think of.
Some do, some don't, but I have a nice checklist that I'll give you. Your work for the next 6 months are to do A, B, C, D.
404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Those are the numbers to call. Deborah Morton, she is your real estate expert. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. We will be right back. Inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Morton. She is the real estate agent.
You give us go Georgia. I mean, seriously, y'all, the Bulldogs, yay, but it's throwing Shelley and I for a loop.
The Agency Atlanta, she is the owner-operator of the Agency Atlanta. When we were going to break, Deborah, you spoke about the lawn. And I'm thinking to myself, mow my lawn. That's it. Just make sure it's mowed before I put this property up for sale. But there's more to it than just that.
Yeah, it's absolute curb appeal. So for those who listened and heard when we had Scott Chatham on a couple of weeks ago, he is a landscape architect, and he spoke about curb appeal and how I work with professional landscape architects to make sure that the exterior of the home is in spectacular condition, because that is the first impression for people. And so for somebody who wants to sell their home next year, starting sooner to put the things in place. I'm not saying you have to redesign your whole yard or do any architectural type improvements, but taking a good look at that in advance, if you have time, it's better to take your time and do that. It's less stressful for people to not be rushed. And I prefer to meet people way in advance so that I can help advise them properly and remove the stress from the process. Working in advance is just I find it to be a better process, and most people respond well to that.
When they know they want to sell their home.
If they're considering selling. Some people I meet with, it's better to stay where they are. And then I can provide information about how to access equity out of their home, providing here's an equity assessment. What you could do with the value of your home is not just selling. Like, some people, of course, want to move. Great, we can help you. But if you're just considering it, then there are ways to tap into your equity where maybe making improvements. We talk about this sometimes with seniors with downsizing. Sometimes moving from a 2-story home to a 1-story home is the only solution.
Right.
But sometimes they're in a home that can be slightly modified to make it, and you love your home, you want to stay there. How can we make your home better for you now. And that's what we do. That kind of advice is very appreciated by people when they have a frank and honest conversation with somebody who's not just trying to sell. That's
right.
Every amazing agent in Atlanta that is good at their work will take that approach. My team and I, that's what we do, and we're not the only ones. There's a lot of people out there that treat their clients with integrity.
404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Those are the numbers that you should call and ask all your real estate questions of Deborah Morton. She's the founder and owner of the Agency Atlanta, and she knows everything about Georgia real estate. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. When we talk about curb appeal, should you invest money to do things differently to your lawn when you're looking to sell, like lay down brand new sod or things like that? Should you invest a lot in that curb appeal?
Sometimes.
Or should you just fix up what you already have?
So we have so many pine trees here in Georgia, and the pine trees, the pine needles are very acidic. So anybody who owns a house with pine trees knows you can't grow grass underneath those trees. So there are sometimes options that we can make your yard look nice without removing trees or without putting sod down. There's other hardscaping options as well. Sometimes it's more pine straw.
404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. The name of the show is Inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Morton. She's the founder and the owner of the Agency Atlanta. She knows everything about Georgia real estate, and she's very, very brilliant. If you need to email Deborah, what is that email, Deborah?
It's InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com. Just go to the website. There is a form where you can contact me if you have a question that you don't necessarily want on the air. Drop me a line. InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com.
404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. We will be right back.
Football season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Just download the app and use promo code PASS25 to score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Georgia. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms_DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Morton. She is the expert. She's the founder and owner of the Agency Atlanta. And she knows everything about Georgia real estate. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Let's go to Patrick from Ackworth. Patrick has some kind words for my sister. Go ahead, Patrick.
Hello, Atlanta. Hello, Georgia. Well, we are very, very fortunate to have Deborah for our real estate needs. I'm not sure how rare my situation is, but I've been under tremendous stress for, actually a couple of years, and it's tiptoed into my health, actually. And I just met with Deborah, and I cannot believe how intuitive she is and how knowledgeable she is to each client's individual needs. Before I even spoke a word, her pattern of the steps to go forward, I mean, it's beyond calming. I mean, I have not been this calm and this stress-free in I don't know how long. So,
Wow.
Atlanta WSB listeners, I mean, you know how you listen to a stranger before you love one on important matters. Well, here you go, people. Here's a stranger recommending you need Deborah.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
All
Patrick,
your real estate needs.
Thank you so much,
Can
Patrick.
I ask Patrick a question? Patrick, what were you stressed about? Right? What was stressing you before meeting Deborah? What was stressing you?
All right, WSB. I'm a caretaker for my mother.
Gotcha.
She's got a lot of land here, and I've been chosen from my brothers to live with her to take care of her, and now she's having some issues, and she's got to put her farm on the market. And
well, let me. It's
hold
not
on,
quite
Patrick.
that. No. So to give clarity is she's doing the right thing. So her health isn't good. And at some point in the future, the land is going to have to be sold. So what we're talking about is what needs to be put in order now. What can we do in a slow, methodical process so it's less chaotic for the family? Because there's so many moving parts. They've been in the house for 40 years.
Right.
And the house is in good condition, but is it in great condition? Is it in sellable condition? And then not just that, but who would be the right buyer, because it's a unique property. And, when we realtors meet with people, we have to assess what is going to be the best use for this property or this house. If you're in a subdivision, it's one thing. If you're in a condo, it's another thing.
Right.
And in this case, there's some land with it and an older home. So who is the ideal buyer is the framework that we look at it. And then what needs to be done, regardless of when. There are things that we can be doing now and that Patrick can handle in advance. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick, but I think the thing that is most helpful is what is step 1, what is step 2,
Gotcha.
what is step 3. It doesn't matter the timeline. Yeah.
I've lived for, might as well say it, about 5 years of not knowing, and nobody would tell me. I had no clue, and I can't live here forever. I got to have a place to live. That is stressful. But Deborah, you just came in and you started answering questions that I didn't even have to be asked. I mean, you knew what I was going through. You knew what my mother was going through. You're so intuitive. And you've answered
experience. you know how you get experience, folks? You go through it and you go through it and you go through it. And I am glad that you've never gone through this situation before. And now that you're here, that I can help you because I have helped other families in that same situation. And the details may be different from family to family, but the process always remains the same.
Great call, Patrick. We appreciate you calling in, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
God bless you. And tell your mom that we all said hello at 95.5 WSB, okay?
Sure will. Thank you for being born, Deborah.
Thank you. Oh, wow.
What a great call. Great call. So, Deborah, you were talking off air about well, you know what? Can we table that, what we talked about we wanted to go to?
Sure.
I want to stay on Patrick, right? Yeah. He talked about being stressed out about this process. You talked about planning ahead. This family is planning ahead. So talk to us about that process.
It's the house, yes, the condition of the house. Of course, it'll be the price of the house and the property, but we don't know when they're selling. Like now, today is not the day.
Right.
So what we can do is keep our finger on the pulse.
Do you show it still or no?
No. We're
Gotcha.
way ahead of that. And this is a good example. So we can put everything in place, but we're also looking legally. How is the property deeded? Is there anything in this particular case? Should we contact a real estate or a probate? An attorney that will help put the family's affairs in order. So when the time comes to sell it, the transfer of title is good. Is this property at some point going to have to go through probate, or are all those documents in order? So it's not just the house, the land, the buyer, the price. It's the legal piece of it as well. So we have to make sure for a clean and smooth transaction, for the family's sake, for the prospective buyer's sake, and to get them the most money when the time comes, all of these things have to be in order. Some of the things we talked about, and I would talk about with anybody, is when was the last time your septic was serviced? Do you have those septic records? Oh, I see you put new windows in. When was that? Is there a transferable warranty?
Gotcha.
How old are the furnaces? You have 2 furnaces. One's old, one's new. Can I see the paperwork on that? Because when I'm selling a home and I have all of this documentation ahead of time, it eliminates any questions a prospective buyer are going to have, and it gives them peace of mind so that they can offer a price that is worthy of what the seller is asking. Because I'm eliminating any variable that could, the basement was waterproofed and the foundation was reinforced. So when I get that information from AquaGuard or Engineered Solutions or one of the reputable companies that we've worked with, and I have that, and I say, look, here, this is transferable. You've got 30 years on this. Here's your roof information. my presentation, my package when I market and sell this home, I'm going to provide as much as I can. And I do that for everybody. And not everybody has all of that. And that makes it a little tougher sometimes.
Right.
So
when you talk about the septic tank issue, the furnace issues, and things like that, as a buyer, someone looking to buy,
they forget to ask all the time.
Talk to me about that.
It's crazy.
Because I can't see those things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Can't. So remember,
and I may be coming from a home where I'm paying Georgia Power and it's always there.
So a week before last, we had a caller that called in and they thought they bought a home on sewer, and turns out it was on septic. Like, well, there's a shocker. Your agent should be stepping you through all of these things. And so the people who think, oh, I don't need an agent, I'm just going to go do, you absolutely can. There's nothing that says you have to have an agent, but that's the value that your real estate agent is going to bring to the transaction, whether you're buying or selling. Because we do I sell hundreds of homes a year. Like my eyes are on inspection reports. I know the questions that buyers ask. I know that the questions buyers should be asking. Those are the things your professional agent should be stepping you through, because every home is different, but the process never changes.
404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Morton. That's the name of the show. You call her up. You ask her questions about everything Georgia Real Estate related. She is the owner and founder of the agency Atlanta. This week you are talking about meetings. Go ahead.
Prepping. Right.
Prepping.
So we're talking about prepping homes right now for sale. But the industry itself is what Shelley and I were talking about, was me explaining to him how disruption in the real estate industry is coming. It's already happening. It started last year with the class action lawsuit against the National Association of Realtors. There are class action lawsuits against Zillow. There are multiple mergers and acquisitions happening by the big players in real estate. And now we have news that Zillow is making other big moves in technology. So Shelley's first question to me was, okay, so what does that mean for buyers and sellers? And my honest answer is, we don't know yet. It is in process. Things are changing rapidly. Everybody's using AI and large language models. So will that impact the way people search for homes? Yes. Will it impact the way people sell homes? Yes. Will it impact the work that agents do? Yes. Can I articulate how these changes are going to play out? No, because it's still in process. We also have legislation changes coming. We have mortgage industry changes coming. So we're in this flux period. It's not just real estate. Lots of industry are in a flux with change because the rapid rate of change that's coming with AI and all the technology, every industry is being disrupted by it. I'm staying ahead of the curve by being immersed in it now and planning. Like, we just finished a week of intensive training and business development planning for next year, knowing that this time next year, things are apt to look very, very different. And I want to make sure that we're staying a step ahead in how we market homes, and how buyers look for homes impacts how I market homes for sale.
When you say how buyers look at homes, what does that mean? We talked about curb appeal. Like, what else
I'm
does that mean?
talking about, like, how do you want to look at condos in Midtown?
Right.
Where do you go? Are you on your desktop? No, you're on your mobile phone. So what does that mobile phone experience look like? You know, you're sitting at lunch on your lunch break and you open an app to look for a home. Many people use Zillow. Many people use Realtor.com. There's Homes.com. There's my mobile app.
What is?
Which is Inside Georgia Real Estate. You can use my app, which is private and secure, versus the open-ended apps that are collecting data. So there's a lot happening.
Yes or no answer. Is it exciting?
Oh, very.
404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. The name of the show is Inside Georgia Real Estate. She is Deborah Morton. She is the owner, operator, and founder of the agency Atlanta. She has all the answers. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. We will be right back. Short segment, but Gene from Woodstock called in. Let's go to Gene. Go ahead, Gene.
Hello, everybody. I've got a quick question, Deborah, on the heels of your conversation about prepping your house for the future sale. I'm a senior. I want to age into my house. I don't want to leave, just like you were talking about. But I do want to do things now that can prepare my house so that my loved ones don't have to deal with any of the issues. What is adding a dumbwaiter because of groceries having to be carried up 2 flights of stairs, does that add value? And also my second question is about the master bathroom. Right now I have one of those large garden tubs and wondered if it would be better to put in a more modern oval tub of what you're seeing today.
Yes.
And
yes. Those garden tubs or the old jetted tubs that are in so many homes, they are very dated. People who have them know what it is. And those modern soaking tubs are a good substitute for that. But I would suggest if you're going to stay in the home for your benefit, maybe consider making a stepless shower, a larger stepless shower. Take the tub out completely and have an extra wide zero entry where you could roll a wheelchair in or have no step and have an extra large shower with a bench in it. So that is an easier way to age in place than to have a tub that you're not going to climb in and out of. But yes,
so having a tub in a master bathroom today is not a necessity.
It's not only not a necessity, it's not a popular option. Having one tub in the house is my recommendation. When you sell in the future, people need a place to bathe children. But in most of the new construction, we are seeing extra large showers without tubs, or it's a soaking tub if there is a tub. So yes. Now, dumbwaiter, I don't know if that's necessary or helpful. There are some cool things happening in the higher end luxury homes that are dumbwaiter-like or pass through from the garage, but that's just bonus stuff. Bathrooms are a good place to make improvements for resale value.
Terrific. Thanks so much. That's great information.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Gene. Walk-in tub, that seems to be like
a walk-in shower. In place of a tub.
Yeah,
yes.
That seems to be, that's a very good idea.
People are either tub people or not.
Right.
And the people who are a tub person, it matters a lot, but not everybody is. And the tubs that she's talking about are like from the 80s and 90s, and they were jetted, or they're these really large tubs that people don't use in our busy lifestyles. It's just not useful. And for me, for someone who's senior, and I'm going to say like, from the 50s up, stepping in and out of a tub is dangerous. And having a shower with no step at all is a good choice to make.
Absolutely. I would think, and especially when you're buying a home and you're downsizing.
Yes.
So you're already in that age
we
category.
can talk through that. So thank you all for listening. If you have questions like Gene, send me a message on InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com. We can answer questions quickly and easily. My staff, my team, and I, we're here to help, and we're happy to answer questions like that. There's no obligation. We're not going to force you to sell your house.
How do people get in touch with you?
InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com. Download our free mobile app from Google Play in the App Store, and you can search for homes and get your home value for free in private.
Inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Moore airs every Saturday at 1 p.m. The website, InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com. Go there to send her an email, InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com. Last word.
Everybody, don't forget to go say hello to your neighbor. Get outside. Go to the festivals that are all around town. Pride this weekend, the Ackworth Food and Wine. There's something going on there. There's stuff everywhere. Be a good neighbor.
Gain Super Flings are here to take your laundry to the next level.
Talking about Gain Super Flings. Super-sized laundry packs. These things are huge. Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings laundry packs have 4 times the Oxy cleaning power and 3 times the Febreze freshness versus Gain Original Liquid.
Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings for next level laundry.